Hey everyone, Mio Baaklini here. I am a destination wedding photographer. I just wanted to do a quickish presentation to talk about a little bit about myself, the people that I like to work with, the people who are planning for their 2020 wedding. Um, it's going to talk about the booking process and all that kind of fun stuff. So here we go. Three things about me. First side note, it's Mio, rhymes with Neo. It's not mayo like the condiment or anything weird and overcomplicated. And it's not mijo like a little Mexican boy. It is just Mio. So aside from that, I am formally trained at the Academy of Art in digital photography, where I learned about lighting. I learned about conceptualizing and executing a vision. Learned about planning a shoot, and basically a whole bunch of stuff in between. Since then, though, I started shooting weddings in 2011, that wedding season, and it's been nonstop from that point. It's really just grown into something beautiful. And after I got out of first gear and got my feet wet, I really just fell in love with documenting people's stories and being a part of the most intimate parts of their lives. It's incredibly emotional for me. I have a lot of fun on a wedding day. That's why I wanted to mention that I'm fun to be around on a long wedding day, but I also am sensitive to um, the importance and the emotional side of things, especially if you're missing people and there's loved ones gone, or there's something going on, and um, it could be a high emotion day for some people. So I know how to gauge when and where to be that piece, and whether or not it's time to make jokes and make you laugh, or time to be calm and peaceful and just remind you that everything's going to be okay and not stress out over the day. Because that's huge. You need people that are going to be around you, that are going to bring you peace and calm on your wedding day, not disorganized, hot mess, running around screaming, stressed out. Like, you want someone fully prepared with jokes in the back of their pocket to keep people entertained for the full day. That way you get the best photos and the best reactions possible. Deal? So after that, I want to hear about your vision. So I try to jump on a phone call or a Skype or Google Hangout, or a Zoom, just like this one, where we basically are going to talk about the vision for your day. And what this means is, what are you planning? Not just like aesthetically, but what do you want your day to feel like? Do you want it to feel like it's just like your most intimate friends and family there, and you guys are very low key, you guys are introverted, you're not big dancers, you're not big, people in the spotlight, that kind of stuff? Or is this like a huge 400-person wedding? It's grand, it's over the top, it's amazing, like huge party, um, or something in between. So the first phone call, I want to hear what you have going on. If you have a tentative timeline, or at least a ceremony start time, I can, just with that one thing, I can build a timeline, um, a rough timeline to put together so I can give you an accurate quote. All the wedding coverage that I offer, this is standard right here. Um, Everything comes with a second photographer, and I do this. They're all vetted, and they're all people that I've shot with before. Um, who own their own business as a primary shooter. And this is super important because not just they're not there just for the variety and to get alternative angles or to go get cocktail hour because I'm with you guys, I'm with the couple. They're there because if I all of a sudden, me and you are out on the sunset portrait shoot and I roll my ankle and now I got to go to the emergency room, my second shooters are fully equipped to step into that primary role and to just kick ass, systematically know what I want, know what's on my shot list, know my posing, know how to still work the crowd, and can confidently take over as me in the event of an emergency. Um, Same thing, I shoot for them, they shoot for me, so we swap many times throughout the year. Timeline assistance, this is huge because I want to make sure that you have the best time that goes with the best lighting outside or whatever it is that we're working with. If sunset, I always study like, okay, what time is the sunset go down? Okay, what area are we going to be in? Okay, that area is typically known for a sunset that's actually 30 minutes before the scheduled time because of the hills, because of the buildings, because of whatever. This is the kind of stuff that comes with experience from just shooting time after time after time, no pun intended. But I'm here to help plan the best uh, option for that. That way, um, we get your entire story with the best lighting and plenty of time, ample time possible. So after that, you do get all of your files that have been culled. So I'll take out all the nasty ones. I'll take out all the food eating and the double chins and take out all the bad ones. And from that, you will, they're all retouched. Everything gets cropped or color corrected, and basic portrait retouching. And then from that point forward, if there's anything that's going to go to print or album, then we can do additional retouching. I try to shoot in camera the best I can to minimize editing because I'd rather just do it right in camera than to live behind a computer or have to send them out to pay our retoucher for digital cosmetic surgery or anything like that. So those files are thrown into an online gallery where you and your guests can view, download, print, share. Um, you actually will have a separate password so that you can hide certain images from your guests. So if you only want them to be able to see the ceremony moving forward, or you only want them to see their group photos, you can have the power to do that. And then this usually takes about a month. I say up to a month and a half during peak wedding season, because if I'm traveling a whole lot, sometimes the Wi-Fi sucks. Sometimes, batteries go out and you're stuck without a laptop for 2-3 days. Like, I've had everything happen when it comes to traveling. And I basically just had to embrace the fact that stuff happens when you travel and you kind of need to add in that extra little buffer just in case. So I say 30 to 45 days, if not sooner. Um, the Also, the other question I seem to get a lot of are, how many photos do you deliver? I don't know, because I'm more focused when I'm calling a wedding, I'm looking at the strongest images possible to tell the best story with the most variety, not how many I promise to deliver. And I say that because it's always quality over quantity for me. I will say that through the years, the average that I've seen are 50 finished files per hour per shooter. Got that? That's the average. Sometimes I've delivered 200 an hour. Sometimes it's 25. If everyone's just sitting there, well, and that's per shooter. But just saying, like, if there's a lot happening, you're going to have a lot more content to shoot versus if everyone's sitting still and it's a church wedding and literally nobody's moving except for the priest. So quality over quantity. Discounts. So I used to not offer discounts, but what happened was people would shave time off of their wedding to save money. And at first it was like, okay, no big deal, I'll work with your budget. But then it was hurting me in the long run because I would get to a wedding and have to get 10 hours worth of content shooting or, photography into an 8-hour day, or trying to squeeze 8 hours worth of stuff into 6. And then in the morning when we're shooting details and candids and getting ready, everything is rushed. Everything's like, it just, it made it too stressful. And I don't want to be stressed because I need to be that place of peace around the bride or the groom. Like, I need to be, calm, cool, collected, and not worrying about checking the clock every single second because I only have 15 minutes to shoot details instead of an hour or 45 or whatever. So instead of cutting off parts of the day, I put it in where I can offer discounts where if you're going to pay in full at booking, if you're going to pay by cash, which cash is like, give me a check, cashier's check, something that it's not going to be sucked up by like a 3% credit card fee, basically, or 2.9%, uh, processing fee. The other discount that I do is if you're working, I found a misspelling, a professional wedding planner. I'll have to fix that. If you're working with a professional wedding planner, you'll also get additional discount. And this is because they make all of our lives easier. And a professional wedding planner is worth every dime because you need that person. You need that go-to, that point of contact on the day of, because otherwise it could get really crazy. And sometimes aunties and sisters and moms, they should be in the wedding and enjoying it, not stressed out trying to put on a production. So travel fees. I am based in Las Vegas. I live here now. But I am in the San Francisco Bay Area multiple times, usually once or twice a month, during the peak season, sometimes more. Um, Unless it's a smaller wedding day where it's not a full package, maybe it's just like a few hours, then yeah, there might be a small travel fee tacked onto that just to cover the flight or cover, the room or something like that if it's 3 hours out from an airport or something like that. Domestic destinations, so anything along the West Coast, usually I can book for around $400 between flights and Airbnb. So I just try to flat fee that, and hopefully that covers. Midwest to East Coast, I want to say 600. If it's a peak time though, and if it's a holiday and all of a sudden there's like surge pricing and everything, then that may be different. But this is just kind of a guide. International destinations are obviously going to vary per destination because obviously they have their peak times of travel as well, and some of the locations that take 2 days or a day and a half to get to versus like a quick 8 hour flight to somewhere. um, I also, for international travel, recommend that when we're booking it, that we give at least a day in advance where there's a buffer, not just to acclimate, but to make sure if I have any travel delays, any issues, any whatever going on, that I'm not going to be trying to fly the day of a wedding. I always want at least a whole day worth of buffer built into that, just to minimize any issues that could go wrong. The other thing on top of that is it's best if we could stay on site wherever the couple is. That way, if the ceremony, everything's happening at the same location, we're not worrying about arranging travel and Ubers and shuttles and this and that. We could just wake up and have our gear with us, leave our hotel room, go down and meet the couple, and just get on with our day. So these are kind of three of my values in a sense, or three more things. So my things: I make moments last forever, like Keith Sweat. Um, a lot of the times I am merely observing and shooting, kind of like a photojournalist style. However, if I see that there's a moment happening that could be in a better light, I might just escort you over to the prettier light and let you continue having, whatever it is that we're doing, getting dressed or putting jewelry on or whatever. If there's an emotional moment happening, I'm going to keep shooting unless you tell me otherwise. So if you're crying, if you want me to get the tears, I will get the tears. If you're like, don't get me ugly crying, then I will stop shooting and will respect that. So it's whatever your level of comfort is for stuff like that. Secondly, if it's important to you, it's important to me. I mentioned this also, back up the couple slides when I was talking about the vision, because look, food is important, themes are important, meanings behind certain things are important. It's like, if it's special to you and you invested time and money into something, or there's a special connection to something, I want to make sure that I get that, because I'm not going to go in there and just cookie cut, shoot a wedding and boom. If you're there because you're like, dude, this is my grandmother's recipe that we're making for this one special item, I want to make sure that we are documenting that, because that's part of the story and that's part of the honoring. That's part of the heritage and the legacy that's going through your family. So hashtag no taco left behind. Well seasoned. So like I said, I started shooting in 2011. And I have shot every wedding season since then, even when I had my babies. And I was shooting an engagement session 2 weeks after I gave birth. And I was shooting a full wedding a month after, maybe a month or two. Yeah, it was like a month or two after I gave birth. Like, it doesn't stop. So I've seen it all. I don't, I do not want to say that they're all the same. That's not what I'm saying. I will say that I have seen a variety of weddings, down to multicultural weddings, from South Asian to Persian to Asian to everything under the sun, uh, dark wine caves, pitch black, outdoor venues, barns, wedding receptions, hotel receptions, people's houses. So basically, if you name it, I've shot either there or somewhere just like there. And so I'm not afraid to shoot in the dark. I am not afraid to stay in one lane and say I can only shoot these Napa weddings because they're outdoor or something like that. Just as an example. So this is me. My name is Mio. I am a professional storytelling, snack holding, sharp-witted, travel addicted photographer. So if you want to work with me, uh, fill out the contact form below, hit the button on my website, miobaaklini.com. Um, yeah, we'll go from there. Check your availability and hopefully we can figure something out. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much.